Okay guys, I'm just gonna make a little review about this monitor. I'm gonna let my first video on the description so you can watch it. The quality is not that great, but it has more footage if you guys are interested. By the way, I'm not gonna be playing on this gameplay. My girlfriend will be playing, so I can record with my phone. Keep in mind she's not a pro, she's kind of a noob. Well, she's, you know, not really used to it, but just don't judge too much. It's just to show the quality of the monitor, so keep that in mind. Okay, so I've had this monitor for about 2 months now, and it wasn't actually my first choice when I was, trying to pick one of the monitors, pick one from the crowd, which was actually pretty hard since there are a lot of options around, and a lot of cheap monitors. You just have to, pick the right one. I actually bought this one for, I think it was 170 euros. I think that's around 190 bucks. I'm not really sure. There weren't many samples on YouTube. I was a little bit blindfolded when I bought it. I bought it a little bit more for the specs, but as soon as I got it, man, I fell in love for the first time I saw it. I used it in my PS4, and just prepared a little list of pros and cons that I want to discuss with you. It's my list, it's my opinion, might not be the same for you, especially the cons. They might be cons for me, but they might not be cons for you. This is just my opinion, so keep that in mind. Okay, so first and the most important thing, picture quality. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this, the picture quality in this monitor is great. It's a TN panel, which means you're gonna have a low response time. It's 1 millisecond. I'm not even sure if there's any lower than that in the market. I'm not sure if that's even possible. But anyways, fast response time, 1 millisecond, which means it's great for, especially for guys that play Call of Duty or Battlefield, or fighting games. You're gonna be satisfied with this monitor. Okay, it's not an IPS panel. It doesn't have the best color reproduction as a 500 bucks monitor would have, but this is a really good TN panel, and the color reproduction is great, and honestly I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see any ghosting, I don't see any trailing, I don't see any image problem at all. It also has a contrast ratio of 80 million to 1. My previous monitor had 4 million to 1, and it looked amazing. So you can tell, what 80 million to 1 might look like. It's absolutely amazing, even up close. The image, it's just so crisp, it looks so good, and you notice that especially when you're playing FIFA, for example. You just look at the grass and you can see every little leaf in the ground. It just looks amazing. For me personally, I think it's great. Okay, so the monitor actually also looks pretty sexy, pretty damn sexy. It looks thinner than it looked like on YouTube or in Google or whatever. It's actually thinner on the back. It's not as thick as it looks. The bezels are really tiny, but between the bezel and the image, the actual image that it's displaying, there is a black stripe all across the screen. It's very tiny. You won't really notice it, but it's there. So the bezel that you're seeing on the screen, it's actually surrounded by this black stripe. So it's not that small, but I think it's like, it's not even a millimeter, or it's probably just a millimeter, something like that. It's really small, so it won't affect you in any way. It's got a really great build quality. It feels sturdy, and it's got that sort of premium quality, and I really like it. Okay, now for the cons. The buttons or the button icons can be a little bit confused, especially at first. When I got the monitor, I was actually trying to calibrate it before I play, but it was pretty much trial and error. I couldn't figure out what those icons meant. It's really confused. I'm just gonna give you a little example. If you want to turn your volume up, you first have to touch the button to turn the volume down, and then the volume slider will show up on the screen, and then you can turn the volume up. But first, you have to turn the volume down. It's a little bit confused, but once you get used to it, no big deal. For me, the hardest thing is to navigate the menu screens. It's a little bit confused, but once you get used to it, no sweat. Another con that I found is that the power cord is a little thicker than my previous monitor. It's actually a thick power cord, and it's not very long, which means that if the electricity is a little bit more far away from the screen, you will actually need some kind of extension, to connect to the wall, which happened to me, but no big deal. It's not really, very important. I just, wanted to mention that. Okay, so to wrap it up, my last con are the speakers, or the speaker quality. The speakers are not that great. It's not a very expensive monitor, so you can count on it. To have this picture quality, you kind of expect the speakers to not be all that great, and they are not that great. You probably should consider of getting some external speakers, or if you have a PS4, just get some headphones or earbuds or whatever. You just connect to the controller and you'll be good. But don't expect too much from the monitor speakers, because you will be kind of disappointed. They're not bad, but of course they're not all that great. Okay, now you can ask me, should I go ahead and buy this monitor? Do you recommend it? I'm gonna say I definitely recommend it for the price. It is a great monitor. It has great image quality. It's great for gaming, at least for consoles. I don't have any complaint for my PS4. It looks very good. It's a very sexy monitor, and it does the job. It's what you want. Of course, if you have like a huge budget, if you want to spend like 400 or 500, you can get better than this. But if you're sort of like in a low medium budget, not low but medium budget like me, less than 200 bucks or 200 euros, I think you should definitely buy this monitor. I'm really pleased with it. I love it, and I wouldn't have anything else, honestly. So yeah, go ahead and fucking buy this thing. This thing is fucking beautiful.